From Cincinnati, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Our kickoff is next.
Hey, USAA, it's Gronk again, and I'm here with my man, Frank. Frank, say hi.
Hi.
Frank was in the Army, and he's been enjoying that award-winning USAA service for like
10 years.
Anyway, he's in. And Frank, don't you love me, man?
Sure, Gronk.
And don't you think I deserve a USAA membership?
Did you serve? Are your parents members?
Nope.
Then no. I love that. It's for the military community.
Frank, that's not the line.
USAA. It's still only for the military community.
Introducing High-Low, FanDuel's new free game. Just pick the teams you think will score the highest and lowest in 4 categories for a chance to win $1 million. Here to make their weekly picks are Phil and Boomer.
All righty, Phil, I'm going to start with sacks. For the high, give me the Cowboys. They are flying around on defense, and they're led by Defensive Player of the Year candidate Micah Parsons, who right now has 12 sacks on the year. For the low, I'm going to take the Panthers. They play the Bucs, who allow the fewest sacks in the NFL. You know that Tom Brady loves to get rid of that ball quickly.
Yes, I do, Boomer. Good picks by you. I'll take the score. For the high, give me the Buccaneers. After being shut out last week, they're going to come out firing against the Carolina Panthers. And for the low, I'll take the Washington football team, who I think will struggle against that fast Dallas defense.
It's not too late. Make your picks for a shot at our $1 million grand prize. You've still got about 15 minutes to enter. Just go to FanDuel.com/high-low.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Trent, I don't think this is a season that John Harbaugh is going to forget for a long time. Huh?
Well, I don't think there's any possible way when you consider the number of injuries starting in training camp, really, and carrying through, and then now with COVID, and here they are in position to take over first place if they can pull out a win here today in Cincinnati.
And I don't think Zach Taylor's going to forget either. This is his 3rd year. It's taken this long, he feels, to get the culture turned around, and it certainly has.
And what a tremendous job they've done. The first season, 2 wins. Last season, 4 wins. Today, they've got a chance with 3 games to go get into first place in the AFC North.
We had the flip of the coin. Ravens deferred. Here come the Bengals. Trent Taylor will take it, looking for a block. And tackled from behind with a nice move there. Tony Jefferson, just off the practice squad, makes the special team stop for the Baltimore Ravens. So here is Joe Burrow. He is a top 10 quarterback in the significant category.
Well, he's put together a heck of a second year. That injury last year was devastating. The fact that he's come back as strong as he has and the numbers that he has been able to put up. You see 4th in the NFL in completion percentage, but also top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns.
And Burrow with a 1st and 10. Mixon in the backfield, and he's hit right out of the blocks that time by Washington. And a big-time hit in the secondary with the completion out to the 41-yard line. It's a gain of 10. Stevens makes the stop, and what a play right here by Higgins.
Well, I don't know how he doesn't go down, and the fact that he's been able to spin out of the move. He's done this throughout the season. The Bengals are hurrying up to the line here, trying to get the ball snap, trying to get some up-tempo going on, but great job by Burrow to that time to extend the play and get the completion.
And it's Mixon picking and poking his way and taking it up, and Kayvon Seymour will make the stop on a gain of 8, and they take him up to the 49-yard line. The offensive line, really the right tackle is the only thing that's different, and Prince will be there in place of the injured Reef.
Well, and as we talked about in the open, the number of changes the Baltimore Ravens have, the Bengals themselves, as you said, just one guy is different on that front, and it's been tremendous what they've been able to put together. A lot of weapons for Joe Burrow at his disposal.
It's 2nd down and 2. And on that quick slant, they got Higgins. He's into the secondary and brought down by Bynes on that slant. Good throw, 18-yard pickup to the 33 of Baltimore.
Well, there have been a lot of injury issues at corner and in the coverage for the Baltimore Ravens. This time it's just a zone coverage, just an easy slant. You can see Queen, the linebacker, that's his lane, but with the eyes of Burrow holding him to the inside, that allows that passing lane and completion.
First and 10, fake to Mixon. Moving up, Burrow, and down wide open. He's got Higgins again inside the 15. Chuck Clark makes the stop. 20-yard pickup. Put him at the 13. First down.
Great job by the Bengals finding a gap in the zone, working from one side and just getting to that lane. But watch the crossover. That causes confusion in the secondary for the Baltimore Ravens. See, as that cross happens and defenders get lost in space, and Burrow's able to slide and find time to make a big completion.
Bengals have only scored one touchdown in the last 8 red zone possessions. Here they are, first and 10, Burrow. Mixon. Queen will wrestle him down. Gain of about 3 and down to the 10-yard line of the Ravens. All right, the defense. Calais Campbell is back on that defensive line. He missed last week against Green Bay.
Well, and that's huge to get him back. This is a major factor. Former Defensive Player of the Year. The linebackers have been strong. Bowser and Queen, they bring pressure. They've been a stability there. And Chuck Clark getting back in that secondary is a huge win for the defense.
Come on, Jay.
Chase on the move. Mixon gets the call. Grabbed by Queen, whose presence and performance have risen as the season has gone on. Throws him for a 2-yard loss. It's back to the 12. They moved him outside. It's proven to be a good move defensively for the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, he's just playing at a much different speed now in his second year and playing that other position.
3rd and 9. And again, not much there. And a nice big hit in the middle turned in by Isaiah Mack. He has been activated off the practice squad. They got a lot of them on there. And so now they're going to go for 3. So the defense holds them. It's 4th down. And they'll try a McPherson field goal after what was a very promising drive to start the game.
Well, and if you're the Ravens, you have to be excited about the fact they were able to get a stop. The Bengals had first down inside the 15-yard line and not able to produce anything, actually losing yardage, setting up this 4th and 14 and field goal attempt.
The rookie from Florida, Evan McPherson, with a 35-yarder.
Challenge flag.
Yep, they are going to challenge.
I wonder, as quickly as they got the ball snapped, I wonder if they're trying to see if there's too many guys on the field.
Cincinnati is challenging and alleging that there were 12 men on defense at the time of the snap.
One of the best in the business, Clete Blakeman, is our referee. He officiated Super Bowl 50. And other guys on this crew have been in the Super Bowl. A challenge by the Bengals, and will step aside.
What Bengals head coach Zach Taylor was challenging is 12 men on the field. You see circled up at the top is Calais Campbell. He's trying to get off the field, but watch as the ball is snapped. What they're trying to decide is he's still on the field at the time that ball is snapped. We've looked at it multiple times, and it appears that he still has a foot in the field of play as the ball is snapped. This would not be an automatic first down, but it would give the Bengals another crack on 3rd down.
3rd and about 4 if it applies.
After review, it's been determined that both teams had 12 men on the field at the snap. Therefore, they're offsetting fouls. Please put 11 minutes, 24 seconds on the game clock, and Cincinnati will not be charged a timeout.
And the offense is out there right now for the Cincinnati Bengals. 3rd and 9.
Well, they do get another crack at 3rd
they do,
down.
right?
So even though they get called for it, as an offsetting, they redo the down. So
they have moved downfield from their own 31, and Higgins has had 3 big catches of 10, 18, and 20 yards on this drive as Josh Johnson awaits to take the field. The 3rd quarterback in 3 weeks for the Baltimore Ravens. They've got Chris Evans, a running back, wide atop your screen. 3rd and 9. Burrow has started 4 of 4.
Let's go,
Into the end zone and broken up by Queen, who is on that running back. They were looking for the mismatch, and Baltimore comes up with a big defensive play They'll force a field goal, and the defense of the Ravens will hold.
Well, that's tough, throwing a fade to the corner of the end zone with a running back. Queen is in excellent position. He doesn't turn around. That's where if you're a wide receiver, you're used to jumping back towards the ball and try and draw that defensive pass interference. Evans not able to get that done as the ball hits into the back of Queen.
It is a 30-yard field goal by Evan McPherson. He has made 19 of his last 20 field goals, and he's been great from outside 50. This for 30 in the lead, and he got it. 3-0 Bengals. Opening drive taken from their own 31. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from State Farm.
Jay from State Farm, we got to talk.
Yeah, it turns out you guys give everyone great rates.
I'm aware.
Well, then how come this entire time we've been calling it the Patrick price?
I've literally never called it that.
Yeah, you call it the Rogers rate, which is cool. But it's a pretty inaccurate name when Stevie gets it, too.
We offer great rates to fit anyone's budget.
You should just say that next time.
It's the first time I heard about it.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Now, one of the big questions for the Ravens coming in, Trent, is who would even be available? You know, shuffling their roster with injury and COVID, and they were just hit by Joe Burrow on a game-opening drive. They get a 30-yard field goal, but the defense holds. We're going to see Josh Johnson out there in just a second, quarterback for Baltimore.
Well, you can't be happy if you're Wink Martindale that you gave up that many yards and the Bengals moved down the field the way they did. But you do have to be happy with the fact that they hunkered down once you got down inside that red zone and they were able to hold them out of the end zone. Excellent job preventing a touchdown and holding them to just a field goal.
Now the kickoff after the 30-yard field goal. James Prochet is back. Inactive today, Devin Duvernay, the #1 return man in the NFL, and Prochet lets us end up in the end zone. It'll be a touchback to the 25, and here he is, 35-year-old Josh Johnson, who is out of the University of San Diego and off the Jets practice squad in the middle of December.
Well, and he's a 5th-round pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but way back in 2008, had an opportunity to, as you said, play with the Jets earlier this season, but now getting a chance, his first start since 2018.
He's played for 13 teams. Freeman in the backfield, 1st and 10 into the air with a block by Villanueva and a nice catch out to the 36-yard line, grabbed by the rookie Bateman. He picks up 11, put him at the 36, and a first down for Baltimore. The offensive line has had a couple guys that have started all season long, like Villanueva and Zeitler. It's 1st and 10. The fake, and he flies it downfield with a pass to the Pro Bowl tight end, Mark Andrews. And Andrews picks up 17 through the air, put him at the 47 of Cincinnati.
Well, if there's one guy you don't want to leave completely wide open, that's Mark Andrews, because that's who they're going to be looking at quite a bit today. He was just lined up on the right side of the line, and nobody covers him as he takes off to the flat.
1st and 10. Here he goes outside again. And again, he's got Rashad Bateman, who makes a second catch on this drive, and he picks up 5 on the play. Now the Bengals defense, you talked about the two ends. They've been terrific out there with the pickup from New Orleans, Hendrickson, along with Hubbard.
Well, and the guy they're missing the most is Logan Wilson in the middle of that defense. He was their leading tackler and leading interceptor when he went out earlier this season. They're hoping to get him back in the next couple weeks.
It's Freeman on 2nd down and 5 and takes it right down the middle, and Jermaine Pratt will wrap him up at the 34. It's a gain of 8. Another first down. By the way, the run defense has been terrific for the Bengals, but today, because of COVID yesterday, DJ Reader is not playing and inactive.
Well, and that's a big loss for them. He's such a huge force in the middle of that defense and one of the key contributors to stopping the run. If you take a look at Lou Anarumo there, the Ravens catching him a little bit off guard, going to this up-tempo. Kind of confusing us a little bit when you consider you got a brand new quarterback just learning the offense.
It's Freeman on 1st and 10, tripped over his own blocker that time, and that was Villanueva. And he stumbles for a gain of 2, Trent, down to the 32-yard line.
How impressive is it that Josh Johnson, the fact that not only is he running the offense, but he's running an up-tempo, no-huddle offense.
Shocking. He's only been there, 10 days?
Yes.
Second down 8, and they've been practicing Huntley up until he took sick on Friday. Second down 8. It's Johnson, and he's being chased by Hendrickson. Wisely throws it away, and that's what a veteran will do to the sideline across the way to get out of harm's way. And 3rd and 8 coming up on the opening drive for the Ravens.
Well, and that's part of the process when you're a new quarterback and you're trying to learn the plays. They try and make it simple. It's okay, you're going to look at one guy and two guys. If it's not there, don't worry about looking through the rest of your progression. They try and make it as simple as possible. That time Johnson, the first two guys were covered, had to get to outside the pocket and throw it away.
They got 2 tight ends. It's 3rd down and 8. Freeman in the backfield, now wide. Johnson throwing away to the block on the slant. They got him, and that's a catch by Marquise Brown. Brought down by Awuzie. He slants his way down to the 17, a pickup of 15 on that strike on 3rd and 8. First down, Baltimore.
Awuzie has outside leverage, and Brown is able to give a little stutter step and get to the inside. Excellent throw by Johnson to pick up this first down and get the Ravens down inside the 20.
Hollywood Brown is closing in on 1,000 yards receiving. Came into today with 909. Good looking drive. Started at the 25. 8th play of the drive. In the pistol. And Latavius Murray, who had a nice game against Green Bay. Apple brings him down. Got to the 10. Pickup of 6. Let's go to Nate in New York.
All right, after a 13-play drive on 4th and 2, Josh Allen spots his bud McKenzie, that's Isaiah McKenzie, back of the end zone. The Buffalo Bills, they go up 7-0. Back to Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins.
And you thought, Trent, that a quick start for Buffalo on the road was huge.
That's a big factor in that game. As we know, that's a similar game to this one. They're battling for the division lead.
Murray remains. 2nd down and 4. Good block in there by Zeitler. It goes out to Bateman for a 3rd time on this drive. Hit by Bailey. Takes the place of Logan. It's a gain of 5. Awuzie there as well. And put him just outside the 5 of Cincinnati.
How about the effort by Bateman there? He catches the ball short of the sticks. He has 3 defenders. He doesn't dance around. He just lowers his shoulder and is able to pick up the first down, setting a 1st and goal inside the 6. Watch, he stutters a little bit, Kevin, and then he lowers his shoulder. It's like, I got to get this.
Isn't that something? Murray remains. Tomlinson is the fullback. Ricard is inactive today. 1st and goal at the 5. There's a block inside Tomlinson and a drive by Murray and a stop made by the safety Jesse Bates on a gain of 1 down to the 4.
And Kevin, this is where I think it gets more difficult when you have a new quarterback and a quarterback that's inexperienced in this offense is the situational type of plays, your 3rd downs, your red zone, your goal line plays, the stuff that maybe you don't get a lot of work out, especially when you're only practicing for a day and a half and getting the reps that you need. So this is the area of the field that's a little bit more delicate and needs more reps.
It's 2nd down and goal at the 4 with Murray. Nice fake to the end zone and incomplete. Awuzie may have come up lame on that one. No, he's okay as they were going to the back of the end zone for Marquise Brown. Yeah, he's hobbling just a hair, isn't he?
I was going to say, I saw the same thing you did. He after that play, he tipped it away. Did you see him hop at the end of it? Almost like it's like, watch as he lands and he kind of does one of those little hops like that. That's not a good sign.
Third down and goal, 12th play of the drive. Johnson. And caught for the touchdown. A laser to Bateman of 4 yards. And the Ravens have taken the lead.
The slant will be coming from Josh Johnson's left. It'll coming into the picture here, but watch as he holds his eyes. Johnson holds the middle linebacker's eyes. You have a double fade on the outside. See how he looked to the right before he threw that ball? That draws the attention of the linebacker. All you need is one hesitation. You just need him to freeze for a second, and you can get that slant in behind him. Excellent job of footwork and eyes by Josh Johnson.
Tucker to try to tack on one more, and does. 7-3 Baltimore. Rashad Bateman is a first-round rookie out of Minnesota. And from Josh Johnson, the third quarterback in 3 games, the first career touchdown reception for Bateman.
Allstate. Save money like a champion with Allstate. And by Duracell. Power you can trust.
You and I did that game. That was a surprise to everyone. Bengals came in there and steamrolled Baltimore. A shocker. 7-3. We just had a touchdown pass by Josh Johnson, who comes in. He, by the way, when the Bengals played the Jets earlier in the Meadowlands, Johnson came in for a couple plays. So this is the second time this season that the former Bengal quarterback, Josh Johnson, has played against his old team. Here's Trent Taylor, who takes it inside the 10. Darius Phillips injured and out, and he was tripped up as he was taking it up and hit on the play by Malik Harrison on a 21-yard return. Well, this guy has been all over the map. I mean, you need a Google Maps thing to figure out where he's been in all these different leagues, Trent.
I was going to say, check out UFL here, Alliance of American Football, XFL. You've got other leagues. You've got multiple teams. And he came out today firing the football. Listen, he started 6 of 8. He was 2 for 2 on third down, including that touchdown pass on third down. Heck of a job by Josh Johnson.
1st and 10, the fake to Mixon. And the pass is caught by Higgins. 4th today, knocked out of bounds. Anthony Averett across the way. Higgins is off to a big start, picks up 11. 1st down, 37 of Cincinnati.
Higgins just on the outside, just giving your run-of-the-mill comeback, getting up to 15 yards, working back to 10, keep the ball on the sideline. Fans a little upset with that hit. No flag was thrown.
Higgins had a terrific run, 3 consecutive weeks of at least 100 yards receiving in week 12, 13, and 14. He and Boyd have been big. Really kind of forgotten here lately has been Jamar Chase, who had the big game in week 7, over 200 yards receiving. Oh, up the middle, look at him go! Hurdling defenders and inside the 45. The 1,000-yard running back and a Pro Bowler, Joe Mixon, takes it and flies downfield for 19 and put him at the 40, make it the 44.
Excellent job by the guys up front. Body on a body. Nobody able to get off and get on to Mixon, but watch as he squeezes his way. That's a big man there, 220 pounds, able to get skinny and get through there.
1st and 10, outside they go. Uzama gets the ball. Brought down by Stevens, who is down and out. Or that was Averett, excuse me. Averett over there is the one who's down. And that's a big body in Uzama with the ball on a 16-yard catch and run at the 28-yard line, and watch it again. Head down. And we will step it.
Live games on the go. Get real-time scores and follow your favorite teams.
Oh, he breaks free. Touchdown.
Never miss a moment. The CBS Sports app. Download it today.
Anthony Averett is on his feet, as you can see, in tremendous pain, and the cart is out on the field. Here's another cornerback injury for the Ravens. Talked to John Harbaugh the other day. He said we're like on our 8th, 9th, 10th different cornerback, and here is another one going down. This is Averett.
Well, the good news is it's not a head injury, but the bad news is you could see the knee of Uzama driving into the right side of Averett. Obviously, all kinds of things involved there, your ribs and internal organs.
Exactly.
It's hard to speculate on that, but just the fact he was able to get up is something we were happy to see.
And that knee, it was like a sledgehammer, right to the side, low. And they'll look at Averett, and we'll get Mel on that story. And when we find out, you will find out. So they bring in Darryl Worley, who has started 54 games in his career. That's young. Worley on the other side at number 29, and he'll be at that corner. It's 1st and 10 after the Uzomah gain of 16 to the 28. Second possession for the Bengals. And they're thinking somebody move.
False start.
Yep.
Offense, number 83. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And Trent, as you know, the Bengals are the least penalized team in pro football.
Well, they are, and that's something, you know, you just can't have happen. Here you've had all this time, you've had the injury, you got a big play to get into the first down inside the 30, and then, you know, come out and have that kind of mental mistake. That's something Zach Taylor's not going to be real happy about.
Kevon Seymour is the other corner. 1st and 15. It's Burrow. Here they come on the side. Got away from Young. Being chased. No place to run. No place to hide. And he throws incomplete. Uzomah with the flag on Queen. At about the 10. That's tough. He's had a couple tough matchups. Pass catching tight end, a running back. He knocked one away in the end zone in the last possession.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, first down.
But they put that on Stevens, the safety.
The Baltimore defense has been blitzing less the last couple of weeks, but this time they brought Tavon Young off the slot, and he initially missed Burrow. They had everybody lined up inside the box. There's the hands right there down the field. Everybody lined up at the line of scrimmage. Young comes off the edge, is unaccounted for. Burrow made a miss the first time. Able to get the ball off.
It's 1st and 10. Here comes Mixon to carve his way free and hit by the Avalanche, and a gain of about 3 at the bottom of the pile. Josh Bynes, who makes the stop, and he gets down to the 25-yard line. Trent, on the second possession for the Bengals today.
Well, there was a little rhythm going to the game here, but the last few plays, a couple of penalties, and of course the injury to Averett, which we're glad to see him get on his feet on his own, but trying to get settled back in here, both teams.
So Seymour and Worley are the two corners. They got Stevens and Clark as the safeties. 2nd down and 7 for the Bengals. Win the block, and there's a pass at the 20-yard line and grabbed right there by Drew Sample. And it's a gain of 5, and they're down to the 20. Sample makes his 9th reception of the season.
Well, and Kevin, you start to wonder as this game progresses, and they were down corners and defensive backs, the Baltimore Ravens were coming into this. Now all of a sudden you lose Averett, and you're getting further and further down the depth chart. At some point in time, if you're the Bengals, you just open it up and just start throwing a bunch. Very similar to what they did in the first matchup where he threw for over 400 yards.
3rd down and 2. Again, Evans in the slot. On their outside, caught by Chase. Drilled by Clark. Was he in? At the 3, yes sir, he was. What a catch and a great throw and a pickup of 17.
Well, there's a hole in cover 2 that you can try and get to. Let's take a look and see if his feet get in. Both feet are down. The ball is secured. It doesn't come loose when it goes to the ground. Good call by the officials.
Out they come, 1st and goal at the 3. Mixon knifing and down to the 2. With a gain of a yard, the Bengal offense only 1 touchdown in the last 9 red zone trips as Josh Johnson watches across the way. He led a touchdown drive with a pass, the first time the Ravens had the ball. Burrow is 8 of 9.
Well, they're bringing in extra offensive linemen, a couple of more tight ends. Ravens counter with a bunch of big bodies of their own.
Evans with the gain of 1. 2nd down and goal at the 2. Mixon in the backfield. Into the end zone, Uzomah. Incomplete. Back there with him was the linebacker, Josh Bynes. Uzomah caught one earlier on this drive for 16. Bynes was there covering the tight end.
You know, Kevin, it was great talking to Josh Bynes. He was with the Bengals a year ago. This is actually his 3rd time on the Ravens roster, but the amount of respect that he has for Joe Burrow, he said, listen, the way he handled everything last year with the injury, the talent that he has, Josh told me, he goes, I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow is an MVP in this league at some point in time. Had a lot of respect for him.
3rd and goal at the 2. 9th play of the drive. Mixon is in. Chase on the move. Mixon, he's on with the block, and there they go. Putting up a wall, and you can start rattling off all the players that only allow a 1-yard lead down to the 1. Queen with the first hit.
Excellent job on the outside, maintaining leverage so that there was nowhere for him to go. And then you see the rally of the defense as the Bengals are going to go for it here on 4th down.
Sample the tight end, Mixon in the backfield, 4th and goal at the 1.
Got Chase up top, one-on-one.
Burrow, and that's a touchdown. Mixon takes it across. The Pro Bowler and 1,000-yard rusher with his 13th touchdown of the season. And the Bengals have taken the lead.
Great push in the middle of the offensive line there, as Mixon's able to just go with the wave, push the pile into the end zone.
They finally score in that red zone. First time had to settle for a 30-yard field goal. And here's Evan McPherson tag on one more late in the first quarter. Got it, and it's 10-7 Cincinnati. The Bengals know they could take a commanding lead in the AFC North with the win today. The rivals, the Ravens, in town.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. And by Royal Caribbean. Rise to the vacation. Come see.
Some wonderful happy faces from the holiday season. All those pictures of some of our CBS crew that have been away from their families. We thank them for coming out and being with us again, working. And here's the kickoff after the touchdown run by Mixon over the head of Prochet, who's taken the place of Duvernay. Josh Johnson on that opening drive was 6 of 8.
Kevin, it was very impressive what he's able to do. And they actually went a lot of no huddle in that opening drive. So keeping things quick and simple for the most part. His key conversions, 2 for 2 on 3rd down, including that touchdown toss on 3rd down.
So today the Bengal defense has no DJ Reader, and they've got no Logan Wilson. Wilson, their leading tackler, out with a shoulder injury. Reader on COVID, 1st and 10. That ball was deflected. They were going outside for Bateman. Apple with the coverage and incomplete, and deflected at the line. 2nd down and 10. So how does Baltimore even put, Trent, a game plan together with all the changes, especially at quarterback, the most important position? They're very unsettling for John Harbaugh.
Well, and I had that conversation with Greg Roman during the week, and that was when I thought Tyler Huntley was going to be the quarterback. I said, how do you prepare your game plan? And, you know, all of a sudden you get other guys added to the COVID list, and it's constantly changing. He said it's a work in progress, and you try and start off with a vanilla game plan, and then you have to evolve it as time goes on.
No catch. That's made right there by Prochet. Bounces back up. It's his 10th reception of the season, and the whistle finally blows as he was upfield to the 48-yard line and a gain of 22. When it looked like everybody kind of came up on the play that he was down.
Everybody stopped.
But wasn't he touched right there? They may look at that again. I thought perhaps he was touched by Pratt. But bouncing back up he did, and right now it's at the 47. Quarter has come to a close. Bengals on top on a touchdown plunge by Mixon. It's the start of the second quarter. Indeed, Pratt got his hand on the shoulder pad of Prochet. Gain of 9, 3rd and 1, and they bobble it, and it's loose, and then smothered at about the 30. As Josh Johnson taking the snap, or trying to take the snap, and it's 4th down, and here comes the Baltimore punting unit with Sam Cook.
Well, it's just a matter of Josh taking his eyes off it. Watches his eyes turn to his right. Doesn't look the ball all the way in, and they're lucky to get that ball back.
Trent Taylor will be back for Cincinnati inside the 25. And Cook to punt. First punt of the game. Had scoring in every possession until right now. Basically a winless day here in Cincinnati. Advance a bit. The tackle and down at the 28. And brought down by Nick Moore, who is the long snapper. 6-yard return, 47-yard punt. All right, on New Year's Eve, CBS gets into the spirit of the bowl season with a matchup between the Pac-12 and ACC. Washington State will take on Miami in the Sun Bowl. That's coming up Friday at noon Eastern, right here on CBS.
24!
Nixon in the backfield, 1st and 10. Burrow's day so far. Break to Nixon. Block here by Morgan. Out to the running back. And snared by Young. Gain of 3 on the play to the 32. Tavon Young with a nice tackle in the open field. He was concussed but cleared, and back he is. Trying to piece together this defense. It has not been easy for Wink Markendale.
No, it definitely hasn't.
The coordinator for
Whether
the
you're talking
Ravens.
about injuries or COVID lists, they need to come out and find a way to get a stop here. The Bengals scoring on their first 2 possessions.
It's a 2nd down and 7. Nice block by Jonah Williams in downfield. Look at this. On the fly, Boyd, foot race. That is 6. Leaping into the end zone, 68-yard strike. Tyler Boyd from quarterback Joe Burrow. Worley was chasing.
Double move in the slot here. Watch, he's going to come up. He does an out and an up. There's an out here. The safety is going to go over the top to help on the outside. Excellent execution. Burrows takes his eyes to the left. That's what draws the safety that way. Knowing he has a pump route on the backside. Hits him up the seam.
Boyd had a 56-yard touchdown reception last week. Here's the extra point. And the Bengals have got a 10-point lead just into the 2nd quarter. Tyler Boyd comes up with a big play, found the gap and flies for 6. Winner here will be in first place in the North. And if it's the Bengals, they will have swept the Baltimore Ravens, which not only gives them a 1-game lead, but it gives them even more, Trent, because they'll have the head-to-head over the 2nd-place Baltimore team.
Well, and then you start going into the other factors, which division record and conference record, all those types of things. This would be a huge win if the Bengals can get it done.
O'Shea brings it out. Wrapped up as he crosses the 20-yard line. And Josh Johnson will be back out there. Nice touchdown pass of 68 yards. Boyd got it from Burrow. And this is the way the AFC looks right now. Coming into the weekend, 10 AFC teams entering with 7 or 8 wins. We know what happened to Cleveland yesterday at Lambeau. Right now, the Bengals number 4.
Well, and these two are playing right now. And then you got the Steelers at the Chiefs. There's a lot going on in the AFC, especially today. Going to make some teams making some moves.
So here's Baltimore without the Pro Bowl quarterback and his impressive backup. Strebler, who is on the practice squad. He's on the COVID list. So here they go with Johnson. On 1st and 10, and the handoff, Mel, goes to Devontae Freeman for 7. What do you have?
Kevin, a couple injury updates for you. Ravens corner Anthony Averett, who we saw carted off the field in a lot of pain. He's been diagnosed with a chest injury. He's currently undergoing x-rays and is questionable. So Ravens down yet another corner for now. This Bengals defensive line already down DJ Reader and Khalid Kareem today. Now they've lost defensive end Cam Sample. He's been declared out with a left hamstring injury. Kevin.
Wow. Wyatt Ray was on that COVID list. Talked about Reader, as Mel just said. 2nd down and 3. It's Johnson taking it himself, going against Hendrickson, and there's nowhere to go there. Tupou is helping, but Hendrickson, one of the best and a Pro Bowler, with 13 sacks this season, throws him for a loss of 2, back to the 26.
Yeah, I think Johnson thought he was going to get some help on a block there, and was stuck in no man's land with Hendrickson.
The thing about Baltimore is they clearly do not quit. Nearly came from 14 points down to beat the #1 seed in the NFC, Green Bay, last week. But they are on their third quarterback in 3 weeks. 3rd down and 9, and that's tough for anybody, regardless of how resilient you may be. 3rd and 5. Underneath they go. Caught by Brown and out of bounds. Hilton made sure, the former Steeler, that Brown couldn't get much. In fact, he lost a yard. Trent back to the 25, and once again, John Harbaugh's punting unit will take the field.
Well, the Bengals generally don't blitz a lot anyway. This time they only rush 3 and drop 8 into coverage. You know it's going to be limited progression just because of the experience level of Johnson in this offense, and that time with the short completion, the Bengals able to rally and not allow him to go anywhere.
Second consecutive 3 and out for Baltimore. This is Sam Cook. He back is Trent Taylor. No wind at the 32. Hang of 4.69. Dancing his way. And then he leaps and squirts free. And then Pines brings him down. Flag thrown. He was feisty, wasn't he? As we mentioned before, Darius Phillips was the player that had returned kickoffs and punts, but he is injured and out, and so even the Bengals have had to be resourceful.
There is no foul in the play. It'll be 1st down, Cincinnati. Timeout.
Bengals on top by 10. The last.
Honda, the power of dreams. And by Rocket Mortgage, for the playbook on home loans. Rocket Cab.
Cincinnati Bengals with 14 unanswered points, beginning with a 1-yard touchdown plunge by Mixon and a 68-yard touchdown catch and run by Boyd. Just had the second consecutive 3 and out for the Ravens. They marked the return, by the way, to the 42, saying his knee was down. Taylor on the return. 1st and 10, Mixon. Oh, bust free off that corner. Queen slows him up. And then he got to the secondary and met Clark. It's a gain of 9, very close to a 1st down, just inside the 49 of the Ravens.
Well, Mixon just runs the ball so hard. Owe gets a chance to get an arm on him there to the outside, and just not enough to slow him down. As we mentioned earlier, making the Pro Bowl, over 1,000 yards on the season for Joe Mixon.
Bengals are averaging 10 yards a play on offense so far. 2nd down and 1 after the 9-yard gain. Mixon again. He's wrapped up right here. Owe got him. And they drive him back very close to the 1st down. Got near the 48 with the throwdown. And the discussion. And he'll mark the ball at the 49 or let's see where they go here with this. 48.
How about Owe? He throws him and then puts his hands up. Then he puts his hands up like, I didn't throw him.
It's like all-star
wait,
wrestling, right? Yeah, it's like all-star wrestling. I didn't touch him. I didn't get him.
Based on some of the flags we've seen, I'm surprised the flag wasn't flags we've seen this season. Surprised it wasn't on that.
Well, they gave him the 1st down, and Mixon again plowing his way into the grasp of a couple, including Brandon Williams. It is a gain of a yard. Mixon coming in with over 1,000 yards. He is the 2nd leading rusher in the NFL.
And as we've said, he made the Pro Bowl, and excellent job on his part, just the way that he's worked and solidified this run game. His 5th year out of Oklahoma, and
I'm coming.
Nice to see him getting recognized.
First meeting against Baltimore, week 7, 12 carries, 59.
Hey, squirt.
2nd down, 9. Blocking holds up. Spain is there. Nice across the middle. Chase being chased. Hurdling and out of bounds. Hurdled over Worley. Lands at about the 27. A catch and run for 1,000-yard receiver and Pro Bowler, a rookie, Jamar Chase, a 20-yard gain.
Kevin, you and I were just talking about Jamar Chase and how over the course of the last few games he hasn't been as big of a factor. And I think if you go to the early part of the season, he was so many big plays, right? He's averaging 17 yards a catch and was 80-yard touchdowns and putting up big plays, and I think defense have decided, let's take away the big plays and make him earn it underneath, and that time he did earn it. Short catch, big game.
P. Ryan in the backfield, 1st and 10. P. Ryan the block, and downfield he goes, and caught by Higgins in a nest of defenders. Inside the 10, inside the 9, 17-yard pickup, and Higgins having a big day for Cincinnati.
And Kevin, that's another reason why this team is so difficult to defend. You got an all-pro or you got a Pro Bowl running back in Joe Mixon. Then you've got Higgins, Boyd, Jamar Chase, and Uzama. You've got all these weapons that are at Joe Burrow's dispense in terms of where he wants to spread the ball and move the ball around to. Just a great offensive opportunities there for the Bengals.
Mixon back in, 1st and goal, the pitch. Bynes was blocked, tries to cut the corner. Adeniji tried to lead the way, and down he goes after a gain of a yard to the 9. Get there by Seymour. Wayne Martindale trying to dial up something to stop this team, which has scored 2 consecutive drives for the Bengals.
Well, early in the season, we mentioned the fact how much this team likes the blitz with Marlon Humphrey going out with his injury a few weeks ago.
Yes.
They've really cut back on their blitzing just because you're down so many bodies in the secondary. You've got to be able to cover when you bring those many people rushing.
Underneath, it's Mixon, 2nd and goal at the 9, diving in. Touchdown, he got in. 9-yard touchdown pass. Mixon with his 2nd touchdown of the day. And the quarterback, Burrow, with his 2nd touchdown pass of the afternoon.
Kevin, watch the move he makes on Tavon Young right there. Just enough to freeze him. That's a big man making a move like that. He freezes Young, and that gives him enough to be able to dive and get it into the end zone.
Mixon has his 14th, make it 15th touchdown, and his 2nd of the day. So, with a move and a dive and pay dirt, and the Bengals are riding high, 24-7. The new epic Paramount Plus original series, 1883, a Yellowstone origin story. Starring Academy nominees Sam Elliott, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, 1883, now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. 21 unanswered points by the Bengals. They've scored 3 consecutive touchdowns. Crochet bobbling it at the 10. Duvernay is out, and down he goes. Hit by P. Ryan with nice special teams. And now marooned at their 10, Josh Johnson will have it for the Ravens, 1st and 10. Duvernay is out with an ankle injury. The Pro Bowler.
Well, and Crochet just looks like he relaxed a little bit as that ball was coming in and didn't completely look it in, giving the Ravens tough field position to start this drive.
Josh Johnson, the quarterback, he played his college football at San Diego for Jim Harbaugh. The brother of John, 1st and 10. Devontae Freeman blocked in there by Zeitler, and a corkscrew move. And a gain of 3. Mel, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, I've been watching Josh Johnson down here on the bench before he took the field. No panic, as to be expected from a 14-year veteran, but he's been working very closely with quarterbacks coach James Urban down here, trying to figure out a way to get this offense back into a rhythm. And I have to say, it's unusual not to see either the 1st or 2nd string quarterback here to help coach him up. Of course, neither Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley made the trip.
Indeed it is. 2nd down, 7. Here comes Freeman. Oh, what a nice tackle by Hilton. Losing 5, back to the 8. Free agent, big signee for that defense from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Said he wanted to come here and change the culture, and he has helped definitely this season.
Well, definitely has helped change the culture. And just to add on to Melanie's story about Josh Johnson, talking to Chad Steele, Baltimore's PR man, and finding out about what it is Josh Johnson. He had a history with Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. He's been with Greg and on other teams at other stops, so he knows a little bit about this offense, but he hasn't been around all season and definitely trying to catch up to speed on the new terminology.
He's got an empty backfield right now, 3rd down and 12. Up the middle he goes. Nice catch made by Prochet. He was hit by a couple, including Bell. He's got enough for the first down. Big time throw, but what a catch. Up to the 24, picks up 16 on 3rd and 12 for the Ravens.
I'd say Prochet makes up for that bobbled kickoff return with that catch. That's on the back shoulder. He has to turn his whole body. Apple's making contact with him right as the ball's coming in, and he's able to secure it. And as you said, Kevin, get the first down.
Hurry in the backfield, 1st and 10 for Johnson. Outside, little rhythm now, that's Andrews. Who's grabbed by Bell, who's got a real beat on that tight end up to the 36. And picks up another first down. They move the chains and a gain of 12.
Andrews is just so hard to defend. It's like, how do you pick to defend him, right? You want to put a linebacker, a safety, you want to put a corner, a nickel. It's just, he does so many things well, and with the size that he has, it's such an advantage.
1st and 10, up-tempo. Andrews right there. Missing the tackle was Pratt. And doubled over there by Bell and Awuzie, and he's close to the first down. Let's see where they mark him. Maybe at the 46. Here's the thing about Baltimore. After week 12, Trent, the Ravens were the #1 seed in the AFC. Now they're number 8, and they wouldn't make it as of today. They're just on the outside looking in.
Well, we can look at the 3-game losing stretch and the fact they lost 3 games by a total of 4 points. It's just they're that close, and we've already discussed the number of injuries and COVID lists that they had.
Bailey ushers Latavius Murray out after a gain of 3, and here's what we were talking about and where they were and what's happened since. Tough losses. A total of 4 points. That's amazing to lose 3 in a row by a total of 4.
Well, we're talking 1 point, 2 points, 1 point. I mean, it's phenomenal. You know, any of those changes the landscape of the whole season, not only for them, but what's going on in the AFC playoff picture.
Josh Johnson is at 5 in a row. 2nd down, 7. Freeman in the backfield. With pressure, it's Freeman. And he bumps into Eli Apple, and out of bounds it goes with a nice stick by Marcus Bailey, who's taking the place of the injured Logan Wilson. There's no gain on the play. They stay at the 48.
We'll give a lot of credit to Eli Apple. That time, that play was set up beautifully. It was a blitz, and the Bengals don't blitz a lot. But you caught him in a blitz. You did a pump to the left, a screen out to the right. They had a number of blockers, 3-4 blockers out there, and only 2 defenders. Apple comes up and makes that stop, and could have been a really big game for the Ravens.
It's 3rd down and 8. Blow that dead. Somebody move for Baltimore.
False start. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Want to remind you, coming up, the Verizon halftime report from our CBS studios in New York with Nate, Phil, Boomer, and Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher. Scores, news, highlights, and headlines. All coming up next on the Verizon halftime report. One of the biggest games for the Bengals in years here at Paul Brown Stadium, and certainly for head coach Zach Taylor as a head coach here with the Bengals in his 3rd year in the rebuild, showing signs of success, certainly with 8 wins. It's 3rd and 13. They need the 44. They go up the middle. Here is Tylan Wallace, who squeaks through and gets the ball and takes it down the middle to the 39. A gain of 18, gutty call, good throw by Johnson on 3rd and 13, a gain of 18 for Baltimore.
Watch Wallace now as he secures the ball. He just keeps his feet moving. He spins out of the tackle. Incredible individual effort by Wallace. As you said, an accurate throw, just a quick little 5-yard throw, get the ball in the hands in open space. And then Wallace gets it all done on his own.
Wallace's 2nd catch of the season. It's 1st and 10. And almost picked off that time by Von Pell at the 32. Incomplete. And on this drive, Baltimore, Trent has converted 3rd and 12 and 3rd and 13 to get to where they are now at the 39 of the Bengals.
I thought Bell was going to make a house call on this one. He came down. He was in robber position in the middle of the field. Good thing Johnson had some heat on that. Otherwise, Bell could have had a pick.
2nd and 10. A little high, hot and high as they're going outside for Brown with the coverage by Awuzie, who is on the COVID list for Cincinnati in the secondary. And they just got him off as Burrow watches with a couple touchdown passes today. Rouzier, he was deserving, I think, of some Pro Bowl mention.
He was. He's had a heck of a season, and I know they're excited to get him back, but the Ravens can't keep doing it to themselves, putting themselves in 3rd and long. I know they're 4 of 6 on 3rd down. They just had a big 3rd down conversion, but 3rd and 10, these are difficult ones to continually get.
Timeout taken by Cincinnati with a 3rd and 10 coming up for Josh Johnson. He's played for the UFL, the AAF, the XFL, and any other combination of 3 letters you want to put together, he has probably performed. He has played in 30, now today, his 37th game, and Trent, this will be his 9th game starting as a quarterback. He's 35. He's got to be one of the most traveled quarterbacks in pro football history.
It really is. And give him credit for sticking with it. You know, some people label it as a journeyman. I labeled it earlier in the game as a survivor. Just the fact that he's still going. He's 35 years old, and as you said, the number of leagues, the number of things he's trying to get done, and here he is, another opportunity to start an NFL game.
It's 3rd and 10, blocked by McCary. Oh, they've got the spinning tight end with Thomas making the stop, and the Pro Bowl tight end down to the 11, Andrews, with a catch and run of 28. He's a 1,000-yard receiver, one of the top catching tight ends in the NFL. And Josh Johnson has thrown his way in that Baltimore offense deep in Cincinnati territory.
At MGM, the king of sportsbooks. And by Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance.
Mark Andrews at the 2-minute warning just picked up a gain of 28. Number 1 in terms of tight end explosive plays in the NFL. From the 11, it's 1st and 10. You see the flag. Johnson, who has heavy pressure from Daniels to the end zone, and incomplete. And he was looking that time for Miles Boykin. And the coverage in the secondary by safety Von Bell. Boykin has only caught a single pass all season long. Flag was thrown pretty early in that play.
Offside. Defense, number 91, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Trey Hendrickson.
Well, and what they really wanted there, the Baltimore Ravens, is they were doing a rollout to the right. The receivers were all flooding to the right. They were sneaking Andrews back along the line of scrimmage and sneaking out the backside. Rouzier was on the backside as well as Pratt. Neither one of them fell for it. They had Andrews covered, and that's why Johnson had to try and throw the ball away.
It's 1st and 5. Ball at the 6. Johnson. Here comes Hubbard. Weaving Johnson. And from behind, brought down about the 3. And at that time, as he was weaving by B.J. Hill. Johnson trying to find room. Timeout taken. On this drive, Prochet caught a 3rd and 12 for 16. Wallace caught a 3rd and 13 for 18. And then Andrews, as we saw, with a 28 catch and run, 28-yard catch and run on 3rd and 10. And coming up, the Verizon halftime report. Nate, Phil, Boomer, Coach Cowers, scores, news, and highlights from all over the NFL, all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. This is week 16 of the 18-week season. It's 2nd down and 1. And the handoff here, trying to plow his way in. Freeman, and touchdown! They mark it. He got it. Touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown run. 2-yard touchdown run by running back Devontae Freeman.
Zeitler at right guard pulls over, and that's just who Freeman just gets behind as they push the pile. A lot of bodies in there, Kevin, so it took a while to figure out if he had crossed that line, but he's in.
Good looking drive, and Josh Johnson looked terrific on it for a depleted, ravaged team in Baltimore. As Freeman continued to dig, found the gap and went through. Just to give you an indication, here's the extra point now by Justin Tucker. He's also going to the Pro Bowl, his 5th. and he bangs it through. As of Friday morning, the Ravens had 33 total players on either IR or the COVID list. And they're down by 10 late first half in Cincy. Picked by Atlanta, ending up here in Baltimore. A high school running back in the Miami area, played at Florida State. Has been incredibly helpful for a team that was decimated early on with all kinds of injuries. In training camp to the running back core. This is in and out of the end zone. Touchback to the 25 and downstairs to Mel.
Well, both of our teams were in the spirit of giving this holiday season. Bengals players teamed up off the field and took to the Cincinnati community for a series of holiday events ranging from toy collections and 2-meal giveaways, while the Ravens hosted their 11th annual Holiday Helpers event, where 60 kids from Baltimore got the chance to shop with players of past and present for holiday gifts for their families.
Time of year, Mel, thank you. One timeout for the Bengals. Up by 10, first and 10. Hopkins the snap. Underneath they go here, Uzama. And down low, they got the veteran, Darrell Worley with the tackle. It's a gain of 11 and a first down. He's up to the 36. Those are the first 4 possessions for the Cincinnati Bengals so far. Not bad.
Well, and the Bengals defense used a couple of their timeouts to try and preserve some time in case the Ravens did score, which they did, obviously. And now they've still got one timeout in their pocket with 1:33 to go, and offense is rolling.
Hey, King, that's you. Hey, yeah. We good, that's me. Hey, Roger. Hey, squirt. Go.
The first and 10. Underneath, caught by Chase. Nice block downfield right there, and out of bounds it goes, and that blocker was the running back, Mixon, who was trying to plow the way. He gave him enough room to the 49 of Baltimore, a catch and run of 15 for Chase.
Well, the Ravens that time tried causing confusion on the left side by giving protection issues. You could see the numbers that were pointed out, the communication we could hear that was going on between the lineman and Joe Burrow. And then they all of a sudden blitz from the right, so a guy's coming free, but Burrow saw it all. That's why he made the quick throw to Jamar Chase, and they were able to pick up the big yard.
First down. Oh, they come up the middle, and he's grabbed right there by Tony Jefferson. On the blitz, sifting through. Walks back to the 42. Big play by Jefferson, activated from the practice squad yesterday. He's a COVID replacement. It's a sack and a loss of 9. Back in 30 seconds after this from Progressive Insurance.
Well, someone's not doing their job.
Okay, let's keep going. Shopping for the game can be a minefield for young homeowners who have turned into their parents.
Can you believe how many different types of water they have in this aisle? Kim, did you just change blades back there? This is perfect. Jackpot, variety pack.
Remember, it's a football game, not a play day.
Roger that. One more slice.
It can be a lot.
Oh, good, the manager. Brian and Produce, very helpful.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Pulls to the left a little bit. Nope.
So that sack by Jefferson. He's one of 3 practice squad safeties in the roster today for the Baltimore Ravens. Second and 19 for Burrow. Pocket holds. P. Ryan underneath. Grabbed right there by Levine, and a gain of 3. He read it well to the 45 with a timeout. Clock is at 1:12. Anthony Levine, who began with Green Bay, coming through.
Kevin, I think that they're going to continue to do that defensively, try and cause some confusion from a protection standpoint. Earlier in the game, they've been showing a bunch of bodies on one side, then they blitz from the opposite side. That's when Burrow just took advantage of it with the throw to Jamar Chase. Last play, loaded up 5 guys on one side of the line of scrimmage. So you're thinking, okay, they're going to bring pressure to the other side. That time they brought 5, only 3 could block. That's why Jefferson got the sack on the previous down, and then this time they're able to bring in, and they had that many guys at the line of scrimmage again. They dropped and only rushed 3. So when the quick throw was made, they had guys there to rally and tackle.
Now 3rd and 16 for Burrow. Baltimore took that timeout. They've got 2 left since he out of timeouts. Blocked by Williams, going deep, double teamed. Higgins has got the ball at the 5. That was spectacular. 52-yard reception to the 3.
They're going to try and get this ball snapped so it can't get reviewed. It's under 2 minutes, though, so it has to come from the booth. This is complete confidence in a receiver when you throw it into double coverage and you say, my guy is bigger and better than your guys.
Is under review.
And they had a couple on him, including Kevon Seymour and the safety, Brandon Stevens. I mean, that is about as close to coverage as you're possibly going to design. And yet he went up there and lassos that pass.
Watches the ball. We can't really see where but watch here when we can start see how the ball moves a little bit at the end.
But it's still in his hand.
Yeah, but we've got to maybe right here we can tell if it actually hits the ground, because it was moving from that other angle. The ball scoots along the ground,
but stays on the glove.
But stayed on the glove. When he lost control or when it moved a little bit, the glove was what was had contact with the ground. So.
Good shot by Suzanne Smith, our director, and our producer, Ken Mack. As we got a quick review, and as Trent just said, inside 2 minutes is all booth review, so they call down. And
that's the ultimate. Well, we're going to jump to Gene here. What do you think, Gene?
I think because he controls this ball airborne and sticks it, now the movement that occurs as he's going to the ground and he has to survive the ground, there's movement, but I don't think that he lost control. Does it contact the ground? Yes, but I still think that he has possession with two hands when it makes contact, and I have this still as a good completed catch, guys.
And Gene, it probably helps that he has those orange gloves on, right? Because it sure gives you a difference between the field and the dark football, whereas maybe you might not be able to see if there was any separation.
No question. Good point, Kevin. Anytime you can get help by a different color glove or something like that, it definitely adds to it, yes.
All right, Gene, and wishing you a happy holiday, and thank you as always for joining us. And they've looked and decided.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as call. There's a catch. First and goal.
That is the ultimate confidence a quarterback can have in a receiver. When you throw it up into double coverage, he knew he had double coverage. He saw the two guys. He just put it up high and said, you know what, Higgins is going to go climb that ladder and get it. And that's exactly what happened.
Higgins, a second-year, second-round pick out of Clemson. First and goal at the 3. Just before the half, blocked by Williams through the hands of the aforementioned Higgins. That ball whistled over his head, incomplete. We'll have to take a look and see if it looked maybe a little bit hot and high.
I was going to say that ball was coming in hot.
Woo!
Definitely coming in hot.
But through his hands.
Yep. Should have caught the ball, but also Joe could take a little heat off of that.
Bengals a good team scoring.
As a quarterback coach told me one time, you have to make it a more catchable ball.
Yes. Second goal at the 3. Fake to Mixon. He'll release to the end zone and intercepted. Picked off by Worley. Flag thrown on the play in the middle of the end zone. It'll be against Baltimore.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 29. Calls half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Well, he's a veteran. He's played for 6 teams, and Darryl Worley is called right here watching Chase.
Man,
what do you think of that?
I don't necessarily agree with the holding call. I mean, I know there's hand checking. I know there's stuff going on. He does get his hand up in the face there, and of course in slow motion it looks like it. I think the left hand on the back of the jersey, you could see the jersey extend a little bit, and anytime the officials can see that they call it. But I know at real speed, it didn't necessarily look like enough.
First and goal, Prince a block, and here it comes Burrow throwing it away. And there was great pressure from Tyus Bowser. Another flag thrown. Bowser pressuring the pocket, pressuring the quarterback. With our clock at 24 seconds before halftime.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 36. Carries half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Chuck Clark off the COVID list, back out there. Activated Friday. That's Seymour, but they called it on 36. Am I right, or was it 38? Did I mishear him?
They said 36, but yeah, it clearly was on 38.
Okay,
there.
On Seymour. Kevon Seymour will pick it up. First and goal at the 1. Clock at 24 seconds. Patchwork defense holding up for Baltimore. Blocked by Mixon. Touchdown Higgins. And he beats Seymour. 1-yard touchdown throw. And the third touchdown pass in the first half for quarterback Joe Burrow.
Higgins with the motion inside. He just takes off at just a return route. Gives him the look like he's going to run a drag, and that misdirection when you're in man coverage is difficult to cover. And Seymour gets beat for the touchdown.
Touchdown passes to 3 different receivers. Boyd for 68, Mixon for 9, and right there a 1-yard strike to Higgins, who caught a 52-yarder, an acrobatic circus catch with the extra point tacking on, and it's a 31-14 lead for the Bengals. The winner here in first place in the North, and the Bengals, if they win, would sweep the season series with Baltimore, have a 1-game lead in the division with 2 to go, and even more so because they've taken that head-to-head with the Ravens. It even strengthens their position with a big day for Burrow so far. He had 416 in week 7, Trent. Here he's got 299 in the first half with 3 touchdown passes.
Well, he's got as many touchdown passes as he does incompletions. I mean, it's a phenomenal day for Joe Burrow, and as we saw in that graphic, the most yards thrown in the first half by a quarterback in the NFL this season, just shy of 300 yards.
Bengals have scored on all 5 possessions. A 30-yard field goal, a 1-yard touchdown run by Mixon, 68-yard touchdown pass to Boyd, more a catch and run, 9-yard touchdown pass to Mixon. Right there, Higgins from a yard away. 5 offensive possessions, 5 scores, 4 touchdowns. And the kickoff. On a bounce, taken here by Tylan Wallace. There's Prochet back there, but Wallace will take it this time with the clock at 18 seconds on a 14-yard return. In the division, this is what Cincinnati has done.
What has been total domination. You see sweeping the Steelers for the first time since 2009. 2009 would also be, if they get the win here today, the first time they've swept Pittsburgh and Baltimore in the same season. Joe Burrow told us, he said, listen, I said, how's the team coming in? Are there any nerves at all? He says, we're coming in a very confident team, believing in what we're doing, and feel good about our chances in the game today.
We just saw Mixon go into the locker room. We'll try to update that. Johnson 1st and 10 underneath, and he's got Andrews. Grabbing on, holding on for dear life, Trey Flowers. They pick up 11. He's out to the 35 as the clock is at 11, and Baltimore uses their second timeout.
Well, you have to remember they have the best kicker in the league in Justin Tucker. So if you can get this ball up around the, gosh, you get to the Bengals 45, let him try a 63-yarder. I know he kicked a 66 earlier in the year, NFL record 66, but temperature is a little different now, and maybe the ball won't travel as much as the temperature's cool, even though we're not complaining at all about the weather.
No.
We have here. We're in the 50s in Cincinnati in late December. So
Baltimore a timeout, 1st and 10, 35. Josh Johnson blocked by Villanueva. They got by McCary, and he throws it away outside. In the first meeting between these teams, it was a 24-point win, and that was when the Ravens had Lamar Jackson and a lot of healthy parts on defense. Now it's a 17-point game, and the Ravens trying to connect the dots.
Well, and the thing to remember in that first one is the Ravens had the lead 17-13 in the third quarter. They came out and took the lead, and from that point on, Bengals poured it on.
2nd and 10. Here comes Brown. Andrews a block. Out of bounds he goes. Picks up a first down, and that takes us to halftime. On the 11-yard catch and run. Halftime is here. Cincy on top. Now these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local CBS station.
This holiday, Verizon has the deal that gets better and better. And better.
Get iPhone 13 Pro on us when you trade in your old or damaged phone.
Here, the phone everyone wants on America's most reliable network. Better? Better. That's not all. The new iPhone and up to 7 entertainment subscriptions for your family, like Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and more. Better? Better. Not done. The new iPhone, the entertainment, and up to $1,000 when you switch. Better. This year, holiday better.
10 yards a play. I don't think I've ever seen that for the Bengals.
You don't see that very often at all, and just complete domination by the Cincinnati offense. It was tremendous.
The quarterbacks, both of them, played well in that first half.
They really did, and you know that we talked about all the issues going on with the Baltimore Ravens, and that's why with the COVID list, the injuries, all those things that the Bengals had success with. But Josh Johnson, here he is. He just found out a day ago he was going to be the starter. The opening drive, he goes down the field, throws a touchdown, had a really solid first half. But this first half was about second-year quarterback Joe Burrow, throwing for 299 yards and 3 touchdowns, just spreading the ball around between Higgins and Boyd and Chase and Uzama. Mixon putting together a heck of a first half, but tremendous job by both of these quarterbacks when you look at their numbers.
So, Johnson will be back out there, and he'll start the second half. They began the game with James Prochet returning kicks because Duvernay is out with an ankle injury, the Pro Bowl kick returner. And now they've got Tylan Wallace back there, who will return a second kick this afternoon. If the Bengals win, it'll be the first time since 2009 they will have swept the Ravens and the Steelers in the same season. On that path right now. And if Baltimore should lose, they will not be eliminated from playoff contention with the loss, but they would have to get wins in their next 2 games and get some help. John Harbaugh, faced with so many different moving parts, I'm sure they struggle just to come up with the 48 active players today.
Well, and you can't say enough about John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta, the GM, and what they've been able to do. And you figure all the moving pieces and all the different players that have been on and off this roster this season.
Wallace will take it out, and he was drilled on the play by Stanley Morgan. 24-yard return. Mel, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, Zach Taylor loves the confidence his offense is playing with right now, creating those explosive plays, but he said we can't take our foot off the gas. We know what this Ravens team is capable of. Defensively, creating turnovers is priority number 1 for them. As for Coach Harbaugh, I said, how do you get back in this thing? He said we need some stops defensively. He felt like Josh Johnson had a nice first half. We'll see what he can do here in the second, guys.
Mel, thank you. 1st and 10. Johnson heavily pressure, got it out to his tight end, and he's brought in by Jesse Bates. Another catch for Mark Andrews. That's his 6th reception, picks up 4. He's got 82 yards through the air receiving this afternoon.
And I can't emphasize it enough. I know, listen, Joe Burrow had a phenomenal first half. Phenomenal. As many incompletions as touchdowns. But what Josh Johnson is doing, the fact that he just was placed on this roster and the numbers that he was able to put up. And
2nd and 6, going deep here, and he just overshoots Marquise Brown. Racing down the far sideline, and the coverage on the play by a couple.
He has great command of this offense concerning just a couple days. Brown does a double move on the outside, actually has him just a little bit overthrown by Johnson.
By the way, Awuzie was on the coverage there, and we thought he pulled up lame in the first half, but he's back out.
Yeah, he's been out there the whole half, but I'm still not convinced he's 100%.
3rd and 6 underneath they go. Lunging catch there made by Prochet, brought down by Hilton. He's got the first down on 3rd and 6. It's a gain of 8. They go to the Raven 36, another 3rd down conversion for Baltimore.
On another 3rd down conversion and great catch by Prochet. This is the 2nd time we've seen him where he's had to come up with a tremendous effort to get the ball in, and then getting the effort to get the first down, as you see 3 catches for 32 yards on the day so far.
Latavius Murray is the running back with the 1st and 10, and he gets the call. At 7 carries last week against Green Bay. Wrapped up, taken down, thrown down by P.J. Hill, and limited to a gain of 2 to the 38.
When you look at the fact that Baltimore wants to run the football, that's what they do. That's what they're known for, and only 31 yards rushing at this point in time. A little bit different when you don't have Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley. Both of those quarterbacks are a major factor in the run game. That's not necessarily the strength of Josh Johnson.
Second down 8 underneath. It's Murray by midfield. Hit by Bailey. Picks up 12. Moving the ball again as this 35-year-old quarterback in his 7th NFL season coming up with nice completion after nice completion. 19-26 now through the air.
Well, and finding your check down, that's a difficult thing. That's a difficult thing for young quarterbacks. And when you're learning, getting to that last progression, and that time Johnson able to get to it and pick up the first down.
Murray moved.
False start. Offense number 28. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Lamar Jackson hurt his ankle a couple weeks ago. He has not practiced since injuring that ankle in Cleveland. In that game, they brought in Tyler Huntley, and he had been impressive in that game and in the one that followed. But he took ill on Friday, tested positive for COVID yesterday, and this player, Josh Johnson, who was signed 10 days ago, gets the start. 1st and 15 around Villanueva, brought down by Hendrickson. Sack number 14. He's got at least a sack or a half sack, and now 11 consecutive games. First sack today, loss of 9, and he's back to the 36.
Well, Hendrickson just continually the effort. Villanueva was trying to push it around the edge, and Johnson, instead of sliding up into the pocket, tried escaping to the right, not knowing that Hendrickson was right on his backside. As you said, 11 straight games with at least half a sack. What a heck of a signing by the Bengals.
2nd 24, and it's broken up on the play. Wouzier getting in the way of the intended receiver, Hollywood Brown. Incomplete pass. 3rd and 24 now coming up for Baltimore. Hendrickson, who was voted to the Pro Bowl, coming as an unrestricted free agent this past offseason from New Orleans, where he had 13 sacks a season ago, number 2 in the NFL. And you can see the length of his streak with a couple games to go. Javon Curse on top there, the former Titan. 3rd and 24. They need the 40 of Cincinnati. McCary the block at the right, tackle the ball, jarred free, and here goes Johnson, being chased on the play by Pratt and brought down from behind. Bell also got a hand on him, got to the 43 and picks up 7, and it's 4th down. Here comes the Baltimore punching unit.
Well, Johnson was lucky to get that ball back. I thought for a second there, once he picked it back up, I thought he was going to take off and look downfield and throw one up for grabs, because sometimes the defense can freeze when they see that ball go on the ground. But instead of taking that chance, he took off and ran, and now that sets up the punt.
And DJ Reader is out, COVID yesterday. Primary run stopper on that defensive line. Here is Sam Cook to punt. And under it is Trent Taylor, and out of bounds. He drifts inside the 15. 43-yard punt. Here comes Burrow. 3 touchdown passes so far. I've got another sack, 14th of the season. Number 3 in the NFL. After the punt, at the 14, here comes Burrow with a 1st and 10, and Joe Mixon in the backfield. Chase on the move, pitch out goes with the Jonah Williams block out there, and he is taken down by Clark, and Mixon picks up 3, Trent, to the 17. So tied atop at 8-6, both the Bengals and the Ravens. It's bunched up. Cleveland losing last night in Green Bay. Pittsburgh next on CBS in Arrowhead.
Well, in one of 2 divisions where every team prior to Cleveland coming into this weekend were 500 or better. Cleveland had a chance to get that win last night, not able to get it done.
2nd down and 7. Passing pocket, incomplete, looking for Boyd. Ed Worley over there, and also Oweh was in the vicinity. So Baltimore, Trent, is 1-3 against the AFC North. And the first 2 tiebreakers to decide division winners are head-to-head and division records. So you can see what a loss today does to their hopes just trying to make their way through the division.
Well, because then, it, you know, not only would you fall a game behind in the overall standing, but you really fall a game and a half behind the Bengals, and with only a couple of games to go, so it makes it that much more difficult.
Burrow will take it and staggers for a 1st down. Joe Burrow on a 3rd and 7 picks up 12, and the ball's to the 29 of Cincinnati.
Well, you could see Burrow, or I saw Burrow after the second down play where the ball went into the ground and he was trying to get everybody going in the huddle. He could feel kind of a lull in the offense and just trying to keep that, as Melanie said coming out, Zach Taylor talked about, we got to keep our foot on the gas. We got to get it going. And he was, after that second down play, he was looking at everybody like, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Now all of a sudden you take off and dive and get the first down, get things rolling.
It's Mixon on 1st and 10 with a thicket of defenders right there. Binds among them. Gain of 2, Trent, to the 31.
Well, and I doubt we're going to see the type of numbers in the second half that we saw from Joe Burrow in the first half if the score maintains this way. I think they're going to be content with keeping the ball on the ground and trying to just keep the clock rolling. But you also know that they want to, as he said, they want to keep their foot on the gas and keep pressuring it, so they will take some shots.
We out.
Second down and 8 for Joe Burrow. They come up the middle, and Ellis can't get him, and it's down the middle, and it goes to Chase. Tripped up on the play by the linebacker Josh Bynes by midfield. 19-yard catch and run. Chase with a big play, the #1 rookie receiver in pro football.
The footwork by Burrow, maintaining his vision up the field, just slide in the pocket. You don't have to drop your head and lower your shoulders and look like you're going to take off and run. Just slide and move around, buy time in the pocket. That's exactly what he did. Maintain that throwing platform and made the accurate throw.
Hopkins the blocks. Payne the block, and outside Mixon. And handled out there by Jefferson with a flag thrown, a gain of a yard, 49-yard line of Baltimore.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. We play first down.
Starter all season, Jonah Williams. This is year 3 in this offense for a lot of these players. Williams in his 3rd year out of Alabama. But it's interesting how the feel of schemes and philosophy can really take root in years 2 and 3.
Definitely, and I really enjoyed our conversation we had with Jonah Williams. He's had a rough go. His first couple of seasons was on injured reserve his entire rookie year. Last year was hurt a couple different times, only played in 10 games. This year he's been able to maintain that health, and as you said, 3rd year in the offense, 3rd year in the system, feels much more comfortable, as I see the rest of the team does as well.
Nice play by Tony Jefferson, working on Mixon out of the backfield in a game of 3. He's out to the 43-yard line. Jefferson, one of these kids that have been a kid. He's 8 years in the NFL, but activated from the practice squad yesterday, a COVID replacement. They brought up, 9 players? Which is just amazing how many players they had to elevate. It was like we mentioned before, it was hard just to get to the 48 number, which is what you need, active players on game day.
Well, just trying to figure out the roster, right?
Right.
Coming into this game, it's like, okay, who's starting, who's active, who's playing, who's healthy?
Here's Chase outside on 2nd down, 17, grabbed onto by Seymour. Chase having a big day. Remember, he had the 201 week 7 against Baltimore. That's an 18-yard catch and run with some words to Harbaugh.
Well,
there's a flag.
Well, I'm sure Harbaugh is wondering where the flag is. He's spinning the football on the Ravens sideline. Now, whether or not the intent was to taunt, but the fact that he did it on the sideline and he pointed first down.
After the play,
in today's world,
like conduct, offense number 1.
You got it. You called it.
15-yard penalty. That counts towards the player's first foul to a disqualification.
You know what's interesting about Chase? He hasn't had more than a 77-yard receiving game since the 201 he put up at Baltimore week 7. So he's been probably a little frustrated and kind of the forgotten man.
Well, he has been, and that's about as impressive of a ball spin as you'll see. Did you see how long that was? That was really good. He's done that before. He's done that before. But
he did it a lot at LSU. I know that.
Teams have definitely focused on stopping his big play capability because he was taking the NFL by storm early on.
Mixon on 1st and 10 picks up 2. Mel.
Kevin, as the Ravens defense looks to limit this explosive Bengals offense and get some stops here, they'll have to find a way to do it without cornerback Anthony Averett. He's officially been ruled out with that chest injury, so the Ravens secondary just continues to get thinner, Kevin.
Boy, they have lost a lot of players on COVID. They had Abike's out, Houston, Stone, Smith, Board, Westry, Welch, McPhee. 2nd down and 8.
And Kevin, I just hope he's okay.
Yes.
Avery, we saw, I mean, that was a serious knee that he took to the ribs.
Not to
from
mention
Uzama.
Peters and Wolf and Humphrey and Elliott, second down and 8. Burrow standing tall in the pocket and gets it outside Higgins, and Worley there to usher him out of bounds. Down to the 43-yard line, has a first down. I think it's a gain. Let's see here.
Yep, he did. Just enough.
Yep, 9 yards. Down to the 43. With injuries and COVID, it's affected quarterbacks and defenders. There's no part of this team it has not touched in Baltimore. First and 10. It's Minson looking for a gap and not much there, and he got to the 41. Queen jumped on his back. Clark helped gain a 2 to the 41. I'm telling you what, this trio of receivers, Higgins and Boyd and Jamar Chase, they are dangerous. Goodness gracious, look how they've played today.
Well, and the thing is if you look at like their leading receivers every week throughout the course of the season, yes, Jamar Chase was the big splash early on in the production they've had today. Leading receivers per game, Chase 5 games, Higgins 5 games, Boyd 4 games. So as I said earlier in the first half, Joe Burrow has so many weapons to pick from, and then you throw a Pro Bowl running back in Joe Mixon right behind you, and just presents a lot of problems.
P. Ryan on second and 8. Worley corralled him at about the 38 with a gain of 3. Out of the backfield, Worley, one of those players they've called up. And really, one of the healthier teams in the entire NFL. Since they lost their starting right tackle, which is an issue.
Hey, squirt.
But they're healthy.
Yeah, they have been. And on both sides of the football, they've been very fortunate. A number of teams around the league are dealing with issues, as we've talked about all day with the Ravens.
3rd and 5, an incomplete pass. And that's just on the offense they lost the starter. Then on defense, they lost their leading tackler, who is Logan Wilson, with a shoulder injury. So now Trent, 4th down and about 5.
Well, and I think it's kind of no man's land here, right? If you kick the field goal, you're trying a 56-yard field goal, and you're going to give the Ravens good field position. And if you punt it, and if you get it in the end zone, it's less than, it's a 17, 18-yard net punt. So you're kind of in a position where you need to go for this, and that's what they've decided to do.
Their kicker, McPherson, has gone 7 of 7 from 50 yards or longer. There's a 4th and 5. Williams a block at the left tackle, and Burrow, he's got the first down with Higgins. Makes the move, got the first. He was working on Kevon Seymour. Picks up 13 on 4th and 5 and a first down to the 25.
This play starts first off with protection. Watch the job. It looks like they're rushing 5. They have 6 at the line of scrimmage. Look how much space Joe Burrow has here to step into his throw and take his time. And then you're able to make an accurate throw, put it to the sideline where the defender can't get it. Higgins now over 150 yards receiving on the day.
Here's the 14th play of the drive. Nixon on 1st and 10. There's the hole, led by Williams. Trying to crowbar him out of there to Adeniji. It is a gain of 8, a burst of 8, and he is down to the 17.
Well, if you want to prevent a team from coming back, you hang on to the football. And the fact that they're closing in on 7.5 minutes on this drive alone, and you can't do anything if you're the Ravens or the Ravens offense. You're trying to get back on the field, and like, how are we going to get back into this thing? So excellent job by the Bengals offensively maintaining the football.
And certainly the Bengals after halftime, one of the best scoring teams in the NFL, over 200 points, and back to Buffalo, number 2. 2nd down and 2. Fake to Nixon. Here he's going to go for Uzama with a beat on him right there, Bowser. One of 2 players that have started every game, played every game for Baltimore this season on the defensive end. Gain of 2, put him at the 15 of the Ravens, and that is a first down.
Well, you brought up Bowser, and I've really been impressed by Bowser and Queen this year. Just the fact that the 2 linebackers, those have been 2 of the healthiest guys on this team.
Yes.
But their production, what they're able to do, their versatility, getting after the passer, whether it be getting sacks or tackles for loss in the backfield, and then their ability to cover just because of their speed. It's been a good year for the 2 of those guys.
Over 8-minute drive. Burrow's hit 7 straight. 1st and 10, 15. Nixon dodging outside with a beat on him again is Bowser. And brings them down, loss of a yard to the 16 and a flag.
Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's the veteran, Trey Hopkins, their center.
Yeah, he's going to get called on this, and it's going to be a pretty easy call. Watch the middle of your screen here. That's a tough block to get when the defender's to your outside. You know you got to get outside of him because the run's going to the right. He tried as hard as he could, but he got that right hand up in the shoulder pads. Easy call for the officials.
Work.
It's 1st and 20, Burrow underneath. And that was stabbed by the wide receiver Boyd, hit by Bynes, picks up 5 to the Raven 20. So if the Bengals win this one, they'll have a 1-game lead over Baltimore. They'll have the head-to-head advantage with the sweep and 2 games left to play. That's a lot to overcome for a team like the Ravens, dealing with a lot of issues. And a big goal for a Cincy team, 2nd and 15. The dive by Mixon. That's Bowser at the bottom of the pile, and on top of him he has Bynes, the 2 linebackers there again, and a gain at 2 to the 18-yard line.
And Kevin, the next team in the division is the Steelers, who they've already swept the Steelers as well. And the Steelers have a big game coming up in the second part of this doubleheader against the Chiefs on CBS. And when you look at what they've done in the division, and this really would solidify their position and anchoring into the playoffs.
And again, this would be the first time since 09 that they've swept both, if they win today, Ravens and the Steelers in the same season.
Yeah, watch 31.
10-minute drive plus 3rd and 13. They need the 5. Burrow underneath through the hands of Uzama and incomplete, and it's 4th down. And they'll go for 3. And the defense of Baltimore hanging tough, and they were out there trying a long time most of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, nearly 10.5 minutes on that drive, and not that Uzama would have gotten the 1st down there because he still would have been short, but it would have been interesting to see had they gone for it or settled and kicked the field goal had he caught that and gotten it down inside the 10.
So here's a field goal by Evan McPherson. He has been a terrific weapon as a rookie. 36-yard field goal try. He's already nailed one from 30. Minimal win, as you can see from the telltales, and he just drills it home and builds the lead 34-14. Biggest today over the Ravens. Late 3rd quarter on CBS.
Go Bell.
Some kind of drive by Joe Burrow. It lasted 10.5 minutes. They covered 68 yards. They get the 36-yard field goal from McPherson. And in 6 possessions today, the Bengals have scored each possession. You've got to go back to 2000. The Rams, who had a couple quarterbacks, one Warner, one Green, who scored on the first 11 drives of a game. Do you remember that?
I definitely do.
Of course you do.
We did that all the time.
Yeah, greatest show on turf, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we've heard that. Wallace, and it kicks out of bounds at the 2. They'll begin at the 40. All right, New Year's Day start 2022 with a college hoops triple header on CBS. Noon Eastern, Memphis taking on Wichita State. Then top 25 matchup between Villanova and Seton Hall. And then San Diego State against UNLV. College basketball season in full swing next Saturday right here on CBS. You're home for the NCAA tournament. Zach Taylor in his 3rd year. They spent a lot of money on their defense, over $200 million on free agents. And the result looks to be the first winning season since 2015 with a lot more football to go. Josh Johnson, 1st and 10. The rush put on by Hill, and he whips it away, and I don't blame him. A lot of pressure right there. Let's go to our CBS studios and Nate.
All right, the Patriots answering back. Damian Harris fights his way for a 2nd of the day. Damian Harris running through the Bills like a reckless sprinter. The Patriots cut the lead. The Bills still up 20-14. Back to Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins.
You got it, Nate. Thank you. Remember in the first meeting they had on a Monday night, quarterback Mac Jones, the rookie for New England, only threw 3 times and the Patriots won. Second down, 10. Good time. Surveying, searching, looking, finding his tithing receiver. That's Prochet. Right in front of the defense of Bates. Got the ball, rifles it down to the 43-yard line of Cincinnati in a pickup of 17.
Excellent job by the Ravens in protection. The Bengals generally don't blitz. They like to rush 4, and they generally can get pressure just rushing 4. But that time the Ravens stonewalled them, allowing Johnson plenty of time to work upfield.
First and 10, high and incomplete, and even the twirling Pro Bowl tight end could not bring that in. Good try by Andrews, just a little bit high that time. And talk about Trent timing. I mean, it really isn't there with this quarterback who has not been taking first-team snaps.
It's hard to have timing when you're not getting reps. Well, first off, he wasn't there. He was with the Jets for most of the season. And then the fact that he has been here, but it's been the Tyler Huntley the last couple of weeks. So just the timing with your receivers takes its toll.
Second down and 10. There he's got him. Nice over-the-shoulder catch made by Andrews down the sideline. He got it at the 18-yard line. Working on Bates. Flag thrown. 25-yard pickup. The way it stands right now, it's back at the 38-yard line with a look at Clete Blakeman. And got it.
It's in. Let's see if it's 1, 2. Here we go.
Yep. So the catch is good, but let's see what the flag will do. Hendrickson, by the way, walking off slowly. Now he's going to come back out. And they're talking to Zach Taylor.
There is no foul on the play. The play stance is called to be first down Baltimore, and this is the end of the third quarter.
Andrews has 107 receiving yards. He's over 1,000 on the season, the best in the business. But it's been the Bengals today, scoring every. Bengal quarterback Joe Burrow has thrown 3 touchdown passes, 371 yards. Josh Johnson finding out he was a starter a couple days ago. Third quarterback in 3 games for the Ravens, 21 of 31, 236 and a touchdown. First and 10, moving his offense again, 18 of Cincinnati. There's time, but here comes Hill. There goes the ball, and he's got Andrews. Touchdown! What a play by the quarterback, Johnson. Flag thrown. Andrews caught it in a thicket of defenders, and we'll see if it counts.
Well, it's thrown in the secondary, so a lot of times that is on the defense. So I would think this is going to stand, but what a throw and what a catch.
Prior to the pass, holding defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
You know, Kevin, you and I talked about the timing and how hard it is for Josh Johnson because he hasn't been there for the timing. Sometimes it's like playing in the backyard. And this time, as Josh Johnson is backpedaling away from the pressure, he just flips it out into the open space, and Mark Andrews goes to get it, hauling in the touchdown reception.
Andrews is the #1 tight end in terms of receptions, #2 in tight end receiving yards, and #1 in explosive plays. He just caught, in a lot of traffic, an 18-yard touchdown pass from 35-year-old quarterback Josh Johnson. And Johnson has gone for 254 through the air and 2 touchdowns and is 22 of 32.
Well, they're going to review this. They stopped it to go over and take a look, so maybe they're going to say Andrews was short.
As they review, we'll step aside from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. We're just into the fourth quarter. They have reviewed the touchdown catch by Andrews and indeed said he was across. Knee went down, but the ball, in their estimation, after looking at the replay, had crossed the goal line. So Andrews, with his 5th 100-yard receiving game of the season, and his 9th touchdown reception, and the 2nd touchdown pass today by Josh Johnson. With the Justin Tucker extra point. Josh Johnson coming up with a nice play, leading his team downfield, and the Ravens trailing 34-21.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verbo. Your together awaits. And by Consumer Cellular.
Post-Christmas Day crowd here at Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, 53 degrees. And their Bengals have seen their quarterback, Joe Burrow, throw for 3 touchdowns. And the wide receiver, T. Higgins, bringing 151 receiving yards. Andrews, a big day for Baltimore. The kickoff is short. Taylor's got a jump on it. And down he goes about the 22. Let's go to Mel.
On December 2nd, 2020, Joe Burrow underwent successful reconstructive knee surgery on his left knee to repair a torn ACL and MCL. Less than a month after that surgery, and exactly a year ago yesterday, Burrow posted a video of himself walking without his crutches. Guys, talk about a remarkable comeback. Here he is now, just a year later, with his team in position to solidify the lead in the AFC North. Certainly one of the top candidates for Comeback Player of the Year, I would think.
I would too. He's got that brace still on that left knee, Mel. He didn't wear it in the pregame. Usually does. For game standard procedure. Mixon with the block on the 1st and 10 throw, and this is Chase. Out to the 36. Brought down by Jefferson and Joe Thomas. 14-yard pickup to Nate in New York.
The Buffalo Bills with a little ground and pound. Josh Allen gives it to Devin Singletary. 2-yard TD run. 2-point conversion, no good. The Bills, 26-14.
Nate, thank you very much. Looking for their 9th win today of the season. 1st and 10. After the 14-yard throw to Jamar Chase, and there's Higgins building on his day. Seymour with the tackle near midfield. Gain of 13, another 1st down.
Well, just to echo my sentiments on Joe Burrow, having gone through an ACL, MCL, and meniscus injury very similar to what Joe Burrow did, I can tell you how difficult it is to come back in the amount of time that he did, and also the fact that he's playing at the level that he's playing at, to return to that caliber, and the fact that he's as mobile as he is just gives credit to all the hard work that he put in with the physical therapists and trainers, and it's still ongoing. We've talked to him about it. He still does a lot of stuff pre-practice and post-practice just to take care of it.
On 1st and 10, it's out to Mixon. And tripped out on the perimeter with a nice play by Tavon Young. There is no gain. They stay at the 49. Mixon was a Pro Bowler. Burrow was an alternate. Former Heisman Trophy winner and national championship quarterback at LSU. And he is, you don't like to circle individuals responsible for this resurgence, but he might be at the top of the list for the Bengals.
Well, you think about this complete roster overhaul. Kevin, you mentioned the amount of money that was spent in free agency and how they've revamped the defensive side of the ball, but Joe Burrow definitely is a big factor on that offensive side.
Boyd on 2nd down and 10 downfield for 12, moving the ball to the 39 with a Young tackle. They're into Baltimore territory.
And to that point, we talked to Mike Hilton, and we said, listen, you've been in this division. You've been on some good teams in Pittsburgh. You decided to sign with the Bengals in free agency. That was one of the big offseason acquisitions. We said, number one, what was your reason? What made it Cincinnati? And he looked at it, he goes, the number one reason why is because of Joe Burrow. He goes, I know what kind of player that is. And the second thing is I saw the roster, and I felt like this team was an up-and-coming team and wanted to be a part of it.
Young, we just saw run off the field, and they'll assist him. Look at him. Everett was lost earlier in the game with a injury. Left on a cart. Burrow has 410 passing yards today at 416. In the first meeting in October on week 7. 1st and 10. Blocked by Prince, underneath Uzama, tackle by Jefferson. Near the 35 on a gain of 4. So the games that Burrow has put up this season against a franchise that has traditionally had amongst the best defenses in the entire league, in 1 year, what Burrow's done is pretty impressive, I'd say.
Well, it is impressive. I know we've talked about the number of injuries and people missing on that defensive side of the ball, but you still got to get it done. And the fact that Burrow's done it twice in one season is pretty special.
And 31 of 37. Wow. 2nd down and 6. Underneath, inside, Jamar Chase. Uzama the block. Out of bounds, he's at that time by Tony Jefferson. Chase has been rekindled today after a couple weeks of not maybe flashing the way he once did. A 22-yard catch and run. He's had a big day and over 100 yards receiving this afternoon.
Kevin, you said it. This is multiple times today where they've hit him on the drag route underneath, and he's been able to convert it for a big gain. That's because his ability to run after the catch. So much of what he did early in the season was big down the field throws, and teams are emphasizing and trying to take that away. So what do? You hit the underneath stuff and let him, once he gets the ball in his hand, make the magic happen.
No runs on this drive. Isn't that something? 6 through the air. And a timeout. You can see at the bottom of your screen there, Zach Taylor running down. He used to play quarterback, so he's a pretty good athlete.
Fast. That was a 30-second timeout.
It was. It was. All right, stay tuned for the NFL Today update, time permitting, here on CBS with Nate, Phil, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for scores, news, headlines, highlights. This is Week 16 in the NFL. A big one on CBS coming up after this. With Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I just saw that Travis Kelce is inactive because of his
he didn't test out
COVID list.
Tyreek Hill did. The two of them missed most of the week of practice. Tyreek Hill was able to get out of COVID protocols, get off the list, and be active today. But Travis Kelce, you're right, has not tested out, so he won't be playing in that game.
1st and 10. After the Cincinnati timeout, Uzama got by Queen. And hit on the play by Robert Jackson, now playing in the secondary with Young out and a gain of 3. So the Bengals today with 2 100-yard receivers. Chase with 125, Higgins with 164, and Boyd has got 85 yards.
Right, Boyd's knocking on the door with 85, and still surprised that this is 7 plays, 7 passes on this drive. Just when you thought they were going to run the ball and try and keep the clock moving, they decided we're going to throw short with the completions and keep the clock moving that way.
2nd and 7. Burrow with 4:39 through the air to the end zone. Touchdown, Higgins. As he beat Worley's 10-yard touchdown strike.
Have a day, Joe Burrow. My goodness.
Rifles it in there. And Higgins has got 2 touchdown receptions today and 174 receiving yards.
11 catches, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns for T. Higgins. And that jump ball in double coverage, I won't forget.
No, that was the 52 back earlier in the game. McPherson will put it through, and it's a 41-21 lead for Cincinnati. 41 points is what they scored Week 7 in Baltimore against the Ravens. They passed all 8 plays, 78 yards, 10-yard touchdown pass to Higgins. So Burrow for 449 through the air, 4 touchdowns, no picks. 7 consecutive, each one today, each drive. The Bengals have scored 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals. And they've got 2 100-yard receivers. And by the way, Higgins has gone over 1,000 yards on the season. Steelers, Chiefs, next on CBS. Some will see Broncos in Vegas against the Raiders. And the clock here, 5 minutes deep into the 4th quarter. And a 20-point lead for the Bengals over Baltimore. Both at 8-6. The winner here in first place in the division. It's Josh Johnson, who's had a good day. 1st and 10. Up the middle, he got by Hill. Throws as he is hit, and it's incomplete. And he had a lot of trouble there, too, because Ogunjobi was up there pressuring the pocket with a flag thrown, 2 of them at the 15.
Offense, number 70. Penalty, 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's the right guard, Kevin Zeitler. He and Villanueva have played in every game this season. Zeitler probably deserving, too, of some Pro Bowl mention. He's had a wonderful year. Caught there, 1st and 20 with the penalty, back to the 15. Johnson underneath, and he's got James Prochet. Eventually hit out of bounds by Bates on the far sideline near the 28. Picks up 14. And we're under 10 minutes and the clock ticking here in the fourth quarter.
And Prochet putting together a heck of a day for him. 5 catches, 63 yards. Making the most of this opportunity. He and Josh Johnson clearly have a connection.
Second down and 6 after the 1st and 20. Underneath Devontae Freeman. Reading it well was Von Bell. And they pick up just 4 right there and still shy of the first down out to the 33. Baltimore lost last week by a point to the #1 team in the NFC, Green Bay. And the Cincinnati team had the win last week in Denver, 15-10. They've won 3 of 5. Ravens have lost 3 in a row, 3rd down and 2. Johnson, the fake to Freeman, caught by Hubbard, hit by Pratt, digs his way shy of the first after he gains a yard. You know, the offensive line has done a nice job today for Baltimore in terms of their comparison performance in Week 7. In that game, they allowed 5 sacks back in Week 7 to Cincinnati, 7 quarterback hits, and 8 tackles for loss. That has not been the case today. But nonetheless, the pressure has been there. 4th and 1.
Goes without saying, everywhere is 4-down territory for Baltimore.
Murray, who is playing fullback, grabbed by B.J. Hill. Hill grabbed him. Hendrickson helped. Everybody got a hand on it, and on downs, it's going to go back to Cincinnati with 8:02 to play in the fourth quarter in Baltimore territory at the 34. Latavius Murray trying to carve his way. Met B.J. Hill in the middle, who stops.
Is sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. Geico, you could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And by KFC, order on KFC.com or through the app.
On downs, the Bengals take over. As the Ravens are short on that 4th. From the 34. Burrow to the air, hit as he was going back and drilled. Hit hard on the play, and coming up was Isaiah Mack. He's 3 years out of Chattanooga and activated off the practice squad yesterday. A COVID replacement. It's the 2nd sack. They lose 8 back to the 42.
And you may say, why are they passing? Why not handing the ball off and getting the clock moving? Well, the last drive they passed on every single down. So clearly that's what their plan is, and I guess a little bit of jeopardy there in terms of if you want Joe Burrow to take those hits.
2nd and 18. You bring up an interesting thought. Up by 20. Here he goes. Incomplete. Looking for Chase. Defended by Seymour. Here are the Stars today with their attached numbers. Chase and Higgins, 2,000-yard receivers, both well over 100 yards today. And then the big afternoon by 3rd-year quarterback Joe Burrow. 2nd-year quarterback Joe Burrow, excuse me. Kevin Huber has not punted today. One of the longest tenured Cincinnati players. 3rd and 18 for Burrow. Good time. On the screws. Caught by Higgins. Drives for the first down. Drove right into the veteran Darryl Worley. Got to the 22. It's a gain of 20 on 3rd and 18 and a first down for Cincinnati.
Well, and Darren Simmons, the special teams coordinator, just turned to Huber and said, well, I guess you're not going to punt today, so go ahead and sit back down, because Higgins just lowered his shoulder to get that first down. And what an impressive performance by him, closing in on 200 yards receiving on the day.
Career day. His high before today was 138 earlier this season against the LA Chargers.
Well, and they're going empty backfield again, so they're just going to keep throwing this thing.
1st and 10. It's the block, crumbling pocket, down he'll go. Hit on the play by Broderick Washington. He gets the sack. It's the 3rd. Let's go to New York and Nate.
Sound the alarm. This could be the upset of the day with all the eyes in the backfield because Rex Burkhead is having a good day. Nico Collins scores his first career TD. Davis Mills 21 of 27, 2 TDs. The Texans up 34-23. Back to Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins.
Good job, Nate. That's a surprise indeed, isn't it?
That is a surprise. You know, the Chargers are right in the thick of things, and just the performance that the Texans are putting together is really going to affect them.
With the sack, 2nd and 20. P-Ryan in the backfield. Burrow again, racing, and throws on the fly, and Boyd caught it, touchdown! 32-yard touchdown pass.
Well, if this stands, the defensive backs for Baltimore were questioning whether or not he caught it. If this stands, this is going to be the 3rd wide receiver over 100 yards on the day. Burrow with a heck of a play.
Jefferson thinking right off the bat he did not hold on. Let's see if this gives us a better view. Kind of
oh, there,
right.
Yep, it did. It looked like it came out.
But I don't know that let's see if we can see it here.
It's just that one view you could see it.
Right here should tell us.
Well, it's hidden.
I don't know. And Jefferson.
That last view, you could see it hitting around and rolling on the ground. We're going to take a look.
It's under review.
Right here. Watch the ball squirt out.
Oh,
there
it is. You're right. No,
yep.
it will not count. Good job by our truck. My goodness, what a job by Suzanne Smith and Ken Mack, who have captured it right there. Thank you, teammates and our wonderful camera operators. So they'll take a look at it again. I don't know how we got so many great views, but we did, and we finally dug the one that mattered the most. Gene Steratore will join us, our rules analyst. And Gene, what did you see? What we saw?
Yeah, and great, as you said, Ken Mack and Susan Smith with great jobs and angles. And really, the ball does pop out. Perry Paganelli, the back judge we see in the end zone, is in great position, but it's just impossible to see that play from where he's standing, and he's not in bad position. Only replay and great camera angles can get us to the conclusion, which is an incomplete pass here, guys.
It's amazing. You get all these different angles. You think you've got that. No, I can't see that. But look at him. It was so confined. So, Gene, the process now, he'll talk to New York, correct? He'll look at it himself, and Clete Blakeman will confer with the referees that are standing by in the master control room in New York, correct?
That's correct. That's exactly right, Kevin, yes.
All right, Gene, thank you. As they look and confer. Trent, I think you mentioned this before. What a heck of a job, Burrow, just to stay on his feet and get that ball launched.
Well, and you may be questioning, and I'm questioning a little bit, as to why you're continuing to put Burrow in the position. He's been sacked twice on this series alone, only sacked once previously on the entire day, but some unneeded hits for him. And
he's dropped back 14 consecutive times here. He's thrown 14 straight passes with a 20-point, now, well, it's going to be 20-point lead. They'll take that.
After review, the ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 3rd down at that point.
So it's a 20-point lead. It will stay right there for the Bengals, 41-21 over Baltimore with 5.5 to go. And that was the correct call. And Jefferson, the 8-year veteran, knew it.
When there has been some question about the wear and tear that Joe Mixon has had over the course of the season, really, when you look at the numbers the last couple weeks compared to the first part of the season, maybe they're just trying to make sure. That's why P-Ryan's in there right now.
3rd down, 20. The block in there by Carmen, who's coming on the line. Another shove, another block by Carmen, but look out from behind. Oh, he's hit hard. Helmet to helmet that time by Oweh. Hit again by Oweh. And throws it knocked down by Levine, intended for Chase. The quarterback, Burrow, was like a pinball, bouncing off one Baltimore defender after another. And they were hard hits.
Every Baltimore coach, personnel member, staff, fan, everybody.
Eligible man downfield, offense number 75. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
4th down.
They're all holding their breath every time Joe Burrow is taking a hit and a spin and bouncing around and everything else.
Watch how many times here.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a real thing here. He takes a shot there.
Once.
Now watch here. He takes a...
So they're going to bring out Evan McPherson to try a 50-yard field goal try. He is 7 of 7 from 50 or longer. He's a rookie, and this would tie a record to begin a career. And he will miss. The defense holds. His first miss from 50-plus this season. And it stays 41-21.
Well, he hit it straight. It stayed true. There was no draw to it. And that's ultimately what cost him.
That would have tied the record for most 50-yard field goals made in a season. And 7. That doesn't hit there. They'll have a couple more games to go. But he has certainly been a terrific addition as a 5th-round pick. Of course, we got the gold standard on the other sideline, right, with Justin Tucker. There's a look at Boyd, there's Tucker, who's continually working on his game, and he's had another terrific year. On downs, they take over. Josh Johnson 1st and 10. And he goes underneath, and again he hits James Prochet. And that is a gain of 6 with a hit on the play. And a nice tackle made by Waynes. And football's iconic show Inside the NFL. Streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount+. 2nd down 4 after the gain of 6. A sidearm throw here and another catch with a Hilton tackle as it was grabbed again by Prochet, who picks up 7.
I know the score dictates that a lot of throwing be done by Baltimore here because they're trying to get back in it through most of this game.
There's a 1st and 10. Marquise Brown touched right there by Pratt. Weaves his way down to the 33 of Cincinnati and picks up 14.
But coming into this game, Baltimore was the 3rd-ranked rushing offense in the NFL at 145 yards per game, and right now just sitting at 39 yards rushing. I know a lot of it was Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley, and Josh Johnson's a different quarterback than that. But
1st and 10, he goes underneath again. Here is Brown, and down about the 28 with a gain of 5. Ravens look like they're going to drop here to 8 and 7. But they've got 2 games left, and that's throw behind the receiver Wallace on that 2nd down and 5, bringing up 3rd down and 5. So they'll have 2 games left. But this game certainly going a long way to deciding the AFC North, because the Bengals will have, if things stand the way they are, a 1-game lead, and they'll have the head-to-head advantage over Baltimore with a season sweep of the Ravens. 3rd and 5.
Well, and the Ravens will have their final 2 games at home. They got to play the LA Rams, who will have to be traveling cross country.
Yep.
And then they finish up with Pittsburgh at home. So 2 games in a row at home.
So let's take a look at the schedules. And the Bengals will have Kansas City here next week. Then they finish up in Cleveland. The Ravens have the Rams you talked about, and the Steelers, and then Pittsburgh will have Cleveland. Then they finish up the year at Baltimore. And the way this day has gone, and we just saw that the Chargers were losing to the Houston Texans. I mean, there's a lot that can happen here in 2 weeks.
There's still a lot going on. And
a lot.
It's amazing the number of teams that are still in the mix for those last couple playoff spots, and that's what makes it so great this time of year.
Intercepted on the 3rd and 5 and picked up by Von Bell and tackled by the quarterback who threw the pick, Josh Johnson. That's the first interception by the Cincinnati defense in 3 games. And Von Bell gets his first of the season, who has been a huge addition to the secondary.
Earlier in the game, I talked about there was a robber coverage by Bell that came down, and he nearly had an interception if it wasn't thrown with so much heat. Here it is again. He was lined up back here in cover 2, but as the ball's being snapped, he's moving forward as that robber defender. He just has to sit in the middle of the field and read the quarterback's eyes. This time, Bell able to come up with the interception, and Johnson, the touchdown-saving tackle.
Big play by Von Bell. Second season with the Bengals. So it's first down and 10. And they're going to run it here for a gain
What'd you
of
say?
about 2.
Did you say they ran it?
A run, yes.
They did. They
enough,
did.
Enough is enough, they say.
Is that the first run of the 4th quarter for them? I mean, that's just they've been putting it up.
That was Mixon who took it, and Burrow and Mixon both still in. So now it'll be second down and about 8. Burrow today, 469 through the air and 4 touchdowns. Second down and 8. He's now got 30 touchdown passes on the season. So they go, and this is the tight end Drew Sample, who's brought down by Patrick Queen with a gain of 4, and he's out to the 42.
You know, Kevin, our conversation with Joe Burrow, I talked about this earlier. He just said he feels the team was coming in very loose and very confident. That's been very evident today when you see the way that they played. But the other thing I thought, we brought up the fact the character and the roster change and what's going on, the culture in the locker room. And he said, listen, there's not a guy on this team that I would hesitate sitting down and having lunch with. He goes, the guys on this team, we all like each other and we're all working to make this a better team, and just the locker room overall, the whole culture is better.
2-minute warning is here. A 3rd and 4 coming up for Burrow with a humongous day. And here we got Von Bell celebrating a turnover by Baltimore.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Two-minute warning. A 20-point lead for the Bengals with a 3rd and 4. And 522 yards of offense against Baltimore. Burrow, crumbling pocket, on the fly, downfield, he's got him, that's Mixon. Working on Levine inside the 6. What a throw on the fly. That's a 52-yard completion. Burrow has thrown for over 525 yards officially. Wow.
That's all you can say is, wow, what a phenomenal play by Burrow, buying time in the pocket, and then he gets outside, and instead of looking short or taking off and running, he sees Mixon down the sideline, and
they're going to get a 1st and goal here at the 6. And of course, Mixon remains and Burrow is there, and 1st and goal. And Mixon tries to carve his way and initially hit on the play by Washington. And again, he escaped with some great footwork, which you talked about. Michael Jordan. That's right. That's what Michael Jordan would do. I don't know.
He looks at the sideline like, I wasn't trying to throw deep. The play wasn't to go deep. I just said to try and make a play, and next thing you know, we're taking the knee for the victory.
Victory formation. There was a bit of a side story here with Joe Burrow snubbed for the Pro Bowl this week, and Lamar Jackson got in. This is a franchise record 525-yard performance and 4 touchdowns and some magnificent individual receiving work with Higgins at 194 and Chase with 125. Mixon had 65 yards on the ground, but Burrow was spectacular. And in first place, with a bit of a cushion, the Cincinnati Bengals, who go to 9-6. They have won 4 of 6, and they are number 4. Baltimore in the hunt at 8-7 and 2 games left, and a lot can happen there. Up next, the NFL Today update. So for Trent Green and Melanie Collins and Gene Steratore, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Cincinnati. Happy holidays. Now let's send you live to our CBS studios in New York.